you gain after speaking affirmations over yourself. The more you hear it, the more you believe that it's true.
And welcome to Premier Fitness. I'm Gene Williams, your yoga instructor, and I'm here to tell you about the benefits of yoga.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us. You have just tuned in to Where is the Love? I am your host. I am Stephanie Hockenhall. Joining me is my son, my co-host, Gene Williams. Hey!
Hey, Papi!
And thank you for joining us. On our last show, we talked about bullying from a legal perspective. And today we're going to be talking about seasonal affective disorder. So, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But first of all, if you are here, you should be watching us from our YouTube channels, Love Misunderstood Institute or Premier Fitness 0210. Also, I stream this to my LinkedIn account, so you can be watching from there, Stephanie Hockenhall. You can also watch us on podtv.tv website. Hey, we're on Roku and Amazon Fire. We're on TV right now as we do our show. So if you go to Roku or Amazon Fire, you can search PODTV space LIVE, and you can watch us right now live on TV. Otherwise, you can go back to any of those places I said and watch us at any time. You want to add anything? Anything maybe about the last show or anything else?
Yeah, so I mean, I think a good recap to last week's show is one of the biggest things about dealing with bullying in a corporate uh, setting is to document.
Mm-hmm.
I said that a number of times, but it's important to keep detailed uh, receipts, in essence, of the things that have transpired in the situation of bullying at work. That way, you have a foot to stand on when it comes to trying to prove it to someone. Something also we touched on is as you have whatever issue you have at work with bullying, to go up the chain of command, uh, each level until you get some results.
Right.
So yeah,
And if you don't get results, then you go the legal route. So, and with all the documentation, that's definitely going to help you legally. Um, so that was our show for the last time. So again, today we're going to be talking about seasonal depression, which is also called seasonal affective disorder. So we're getting ready to get into that. You want to start?
yeah. So I know a lot of people who deal with seasonal depression. I've been dealing with it the last couple of years as well. So it's something that is not really talked about um, amongst or openly, should I say, just about the fact that during the holiday season, that's when people, that's when suicide rates go up. People are lonely. They're at home. People have lost people either throughout the year, just throughout life, or they're dealing with separation from children, or whatever. Even alcohol consumption and drug use goes up around this time as well.
Yeah.
So just check on people that have lost friends and whatnot. Always check on the strong friend, because it's generally the strong friend who's the one who ends up actually committing suicide or things of that nature. So check up on your strong friends.
Yes. Definitely check up on them. Well, I thought I streamed this to LinkedIn. It's not doing it. So if I click
I
on
got
this now, it's probably going to take me out. So I thought I had it ready. Um, so yeah, we definitely need to partner with people to, have, somebody to check in on. That's very important because people aren't going to tell you all the time when they're sad or depressed and can't handle, feel like they they can't handle whatever is going on and there's no other options. So
Right.
definitely check in on them.
Right. Yeah, and sometimes it's hard. I say from personal experience, it's difficult for me sometimes to even realize until maybe later, until I'm deep into the depression that I'm depressed. You know,
Yeah.
uh, so you know, definitely. Journaling is a great thing to do during these times as well. That gives you time to just write out how you're feeling so that you can look at it, and then once you're able to take inventory of those feelings and those thoughts, then you can start to unpack them and in a way that's constructive and helpful to you.
Yeah. And we'll be talking about some of that too towards the end of the show, how to deal with things and some things that you can do to deal with the depression. Um, so let's go at it. I'll let
Oh
you.
yeah. All right. So many people go through short periods when they feel sad or unlike their usual selves. Sometimes these moods change. The moods change begins and ends when the seasons change. These mood changes are more serious and can affect how a person feels, thinks, and behaves. If you have noticed significant changes in your mood or behavior when the seasons change, you may be experiencing seasonal affective disorder, or SAD, or also known as seasonal depression. Many people feel down or have the winter blues when the days get shorter in the fall and winter, and feel better in the spring when longer daylight hours return. Seasonal affective disorder is a type of depression that's related to changes in seasons. Seasonal affective disorder begins and ends at the about the same time every year. Sad symptoms last about 4 to 5 months out of the year, and the signs and symptoms of SAD include those associated with depression as well as disorder-specific symptoms that differ for winter pattern versus summer pattern SAD. Not every person with SAD or SAD, I keep saying that, experiences all the symptoms listed below. Some of the symptoms of depression can include persistent sadness, anxiety, or an empty feeling mood most of the day, nearly every day for at least 2 weeks. Feelings of hopelessness and pessimism, feelings of irritability, frustration, and restlessness, feelings of guilt, worthlessness, and helplessness, loss of interest in, or pleasure in hobbies and activities, decreased energy, fatigue, and feeling slowed down, difficulty concentrating, remembering, or making decisions, changes in sleep or appetite or unplanned weight changes, physical aches or pains, uh, headaches, cramps, or digestive problems that do not have a clear physical cause and do not go away with treatment, thoughts of death or suicidal attempts. And I do want to say, like for me personally, one of my things as of late is I just don't want to get out of bed. I don't want
Yeah.
to get out of bed. I don't want to be around people. I don't really want to talk. I just want to be in my own space. And I mean, there's times for solitude for you to process things, but when it gets to a point where you are avoiding things that you know you need to do, you know, that's a problem. You
Yeah.
have to do something about it. And so yeah,
Well, at least you recognized it. Um,
yeah,
that and are admitting that it's really a thing that it's true. You know,
right,
um, it's a fact that is happening, and not ignoring the fact and being in denial, saying no, this ain't what it is.
right,
So when you admit and confess, then that helps you to be able to deal with it better. It starts
right,
helping you to deal with it, to start a healing process.
right. Yeah. So for the winter pattern SAD, additional symptoms can include oversleeping, what I just said, overeating, particularly with the craving for carbohydrates, leading to weight gain. I've actually been the opposite. You know, some days I don't eat. It's
Yeah.
not even necessarily intentional.
Yeah.
Sometimes it is, but and
You
then
sound
social
like
withdrawal. Uh,
Nana. I forgot to eat.
yeah.
I used to say, Mama, how you forget to eat?
You just do.
Wow.
You just do. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like it's not, I mean, it's like you get for me, I get the hunger, but it's like right now I don't feel like cooking or I don't feel like fixing anything. I just want to sit here and process. And then next thing I know, it's time to go to bed, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You want me to read the next part? Or you got it?
um, yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
So for summer pattern SAD, additional symptoms can include trouble sleeping, poor appetite leading to weight loss, restlessness, agitation, anxiety, violent or aggressive behavior. Um, Winter pattern SAD should not be confused with holiday blues, feelings of sadness or anxiety brought on by stress at certain times of the year. The depression associated with SAD is related to changes in daylight hours, not the calendar. So stress is associated with the holidays or predictable season changes in work or school schedules, family visits, and so forth are not the same as SAD. Seasonal changes in bipolar disorder. People who have bipolar disorder are at increased risk of seasonal affective disorder. In some people with bipolar disorder, episodes of mania may be linked to a specific season. For example, spring and summer can bring on symptoms of mania or a less intense form of mania, hypomania, anxiety, agitation, and irritability. They may also experience depression during the fall and winter months.
So I want to go back to um, winter pattern SAD should not be confused with holiday blues. It's easy to feel down or feel low because you maybe you can't afford to buy gifts, or maybe you're depressed because you think you might not get gifts, or because you want certain people in your life and they're not in your life. um, so with that being said, don't get that confused. That is a depression, but don't get it confused with seasonal affective disorder,
Right,
SAD. So I just wanted to add that.
right. Yeah, and and like I said, the holiday blues are seasonal, but and it's just a depression as opposed to a disorder. A disorder is something that's constantly a problem, that
Yeah,
you always had symptoms of. So yeah, there's a huge difference between just the depression aspect of it and the disorder.
yeah. So are we at researchers?
Uh,
What
yes,
causes SAD?
yeah, yes.
Okay, what causes SAD? Researchers are still determining what causes SAD. Most research to date has investigated potential causes of winter pattern SAD because it is more common and easier to study. As a result, less is known about summer pattern SAD and more research is needed. Studies indicate that people with SAD, especially winter pattern SAD, have reduced levels of the brain chemical serotonin, which helps regulate mood. Research also suggests that sunlight affects levels of molecules that help maintain normal serotonin levels. Shorter daylight hours may prevent these molecules from functioning properly, contributing to decreased serotonin levels in the winter. I'm going to stop right here because I want to say something. So, one of the things that I've noticed specifically this year um, is that, like, I go to work and it's dark, you know,
Mm,
um, and then it's dark for a while. So, when I'm walking down the hall at work and I can see out the window and the sun is shining bright, or even when I'm at home and, I'm up early. And this is on days that I don't go to work. I'm up early and then I see the sunlight come shining through the blinds before I open the blinds, and it just puts this huge smile on my
yeah.
face. Like, sunshine just does that for me. It just makes me happy. And I just realized that this year I just get so excited when I see it. I always say, "Good morning, sunshine."
Yeah.
because it just makes me happy. You want to add anything?
Actually, I was waiting for the next portion.
Okay. Did you want to do it or you want me to do it?
Well, you can read it. I just wanted to kind of comment on
Add something. Okay. Vitamin D deficiency may exacerbate these problems in people with winter pattern SAD because vitamin D is believed to promote serotonin activity. In addition to vitamin D consumed in food, the body produces vitamin D when exposed to sunlight on the skin. With less daylight in the winter, people with SAD may have lower vitamin D levels, further reducing serotonin activity.
it. Yeah.
Pause right there.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a few friends and talked to doctors, and one of the things suggested for depression across the board is a obviously getting sun if you can, but like increasing vitamin D intake from a supplemental standpoint to help your body produce those serotonin levels that are good for regulating your mood.
Yeah,
Um, I think that's definitely something. I mean, obviously talk to your doctor first before you include it into your diet, but I think that's something that we could all use a little bit of, especially when we're noticing depression.
yeah,
Also, healthy fats help feed the brain and help do the same thing, help your body produce serotonin. So healthy fats like salmon or, you know, uh, avocado, I'm about to say guacamole, avocado, beans and things like that have, help your body produce vitamin D, and also help. Those are healthy fats that will help your body um, process emotion, and like I said, regulate your mood more.
that's good. Other studies suggest that both forms of SAD relate to altered levels of melatonin, a hormone important for maintaining the normal sleep wake cycle. Wake cycle. People with winter pattern SAD produce too much melatonin, which can increase sleepiness and lead to oversleeping.
Yeah,
You want to comment?
yeah. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense because yeah, like now I just like I said, I don't want to get up. Once I
Yeah.
finally get into bed, it's like, oh, it's time to. You know what? I just don't care right now. I just don't care.
Be like that, or you getting your beauty sleep.
Hey, you gotta do like this.
And then he say, "I don't want to I don't want to ugly completely away."
That's what I'm saying. You gotta keep the beauty up in there. Gotta have a balance.
So, in contrast, people with summer pattern SAD may have reduced melatonin levels, consistent with long, hot days, worsening sleep quality, and leading to depression symptoms.
Hmm.
Longer daylight hours, shorter nights, and high temperatures can also cause sleep disruptions. However, these theories have not been systematically tested. When it gets dark early, and in the winter months, when it gets dark early, 5 o'clock, between 5 and 5:30, usually by 5 o'clock, it makes the evening seem so long and drawn
Right,
out. And it's like, man, I guess because I be looking for that sunshine. Come on, sunshine.
right. Like, come on now, man. Where you hiding?
Yeah. So did I just read both serotonin and melatonin?
No.
No. Okay, both serotonin and melatonin help maintain the body's daily rhythm tied to the seasonal night day cycle. In people with SAD, changes in serotonin and melatonin disrupt normal daily rhythms. As a result, they can no longer adjust to seasonal changes in day length, leading to sleep, mood, and behavior changes.
Yeah.
Negative thoughts and feelings about the winter or summer and its associated limitations and stresses are also common among people with SAD as well as others. It is unclear, however, whether these thoughts are causes or effects of the mood disorder, but they can be a useful focus of treatment.
Yeah.
You want to add anything?
Nah.
Okay, you can go ahead.
All right. So who develops SAD? It is estimated that millions of Americans experience SAD, although many may not know they have this common disorder. In most cases, SAD begins in young adulthood. SAD occurs much more often in women than in men. Winter pattern SAD also occurs more often than summer pattern SAD. Therefore, SAD is more common in people living further north, where there are shorter daylight hours in the winter. For example, people in Alaska or New England are more likely to develop SAD than people in Texas or Florida.
Hmm.
Makes sense. SAD is more common in people with depression or bipolar disorder, especially bipolar 2 disorder, which involves repeated depressive episodes and hypomanic episodes, less severe than the typical manic episodes of bipolar 1 disorder. Additionally, people with SAD tend to have other mental disorders, such as attention deficit hyperactive disorder, eating disorders, anxiety disorders, or panic disorders. SAD sometimes runs in families and may be more common in people who have relatives with other mental illnesses, such as depression or schizophrenia. The specific cause of seasonal affective disorder remains unknown. Some factors that may come into play include your biological clock, or circadian rhythm. The reduced level of sunlight in fall and winter may cause winter onset SAD. This decrease in sunlight may disrupt your body's internal clock and lead to feelings of depression. Number two is serotonin levels. A drop in serotonin, a brain chemical or neurotransmitter that affects mood, might play a role in SAD. Reduced sunlight can cause a drop in serotonin that may trigger depression.
Yeah, I didn't know serotonin played such a big part um, in seasonal, in depression.
We need to skip down.
Okay, go ahead to wherever it is.
All right. So the complications, uh,
Okay.
take signs, take signs and symptoms of seasonal affective disorder seriously, as with other types of depression. SAD can get worse and lead to problems if not treated. These can include social withdrawal, school or work problems, substance abuse, other mental health disorders such as anxiety or eating disorders, suicidal thoughts or behavior. Um, melatonin levels change in the season and could disrupt the balance of the body's level of melatonin, which plays a role in sleep patterns and mood. The risk factors for seasonal affective disorder is diagnosed more often in women than men, and SAD occurs more frequently in young adults than in older adults.
Hmm.
Factors that may increase your risk of seasonal affective disorder include family history. People with SAD may be more likely to have blood relatives with SAD or another form of depression. Having major depression or bipolar disorder. Symptoms of depression may worsen seasonally if you have one of these conditions. Living far from the equator, SAD appears to be more common among people who live far north or south of the equator. This may be due to decreased sunlight during the winter and longer days during the summer months. A low level of vitamin D. Some vitamin D is produced in the skin when it's exposed to sunlight. Vitamin D can help to boost serotonin activity. Less sunlight and not getting enough vitamin D from foods and other sources may result in low levels of vitamin D in the body. Also, another suggestion is exercise. Exercise gets those dopamines flowing, gets your body moving the way it's supposed to and operating the way it's supposed to. That's something that I think is not spoken about a lot. And if you notice during the winter months, because it's colder, people are more likely to be sedentary.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's good. Thanks for sharing that. So
there's no. I'm
go
sorry. You
ahead.
go ahead.
No, you can.
Okay. So for prevention, there's no known way to prevent the development of seasonal affective disorder. However, if you take steps early on to manage symptoms, you may be able to prevent them from getting worse over time. You may be able to head off serious changes in mood, appetite, and energy levels. What just happened? Okay, sorry. As you predict the time of the year in which these symptoms may start, treatment can help prevent complications, especially if SAD is diagnosed and treated before symptoms get bad. Some people find it helpful to begin treatment before symptoms would normally start in the fall or in the winter, and they continue treatment past the time symptoms would normally go away. Other people need continuous treatment to prevent symptoms from returning. So here are some things that you can do to help with seasonal affective disorder. One, get some sunlight. Spend time outside during daylight hours, even if it's cold, and even if it's just for a short walk at lunch. If it's too cold, you can use a light therapy box at home or work. Light therapy mimics natural sunlight and can help improve your mood. Yeah, so whatever time you can get out, even if it's just 10 minutes, that'll help a lot. And
Yeah.
there are LED lights that, like I said, mimic sunlight and things of that nature. But sunlight obviously is better.
Yeah.
Um, let's see if they got that. Also, well, never mind. It's later on down. I
Okay.
was about to say something that's already down there. Next is light therapy. Invest in a light therapy box to simulate natural sunlight. Use it for 20 to 30 minutes daily, ideally in the morning. Number two is exercise and stay active. Engage in regular physical exercise to boost mood and energy levels. Outdoor activity, even on cloudy days, can be especially beneficial. Getting that fresh air and that sun, and seeing all the trees and stuff in nature. Oh yeah, that'll help you.
It's crazy how just listening to these things, getting outside, just getting in the sunlight just for a
Right.
few minutes a day, how it, boosts, the,
Serotonin.
serotonin and the serotonin levels in your brain.
Right.
That's wow. Um, so I mean it don't take a whole lot. We just have to do the, know the right things to do and to do it. And then
Right.
it'll help us,
Right.
So just to help us get out of depression is something. So
Right. Yeah. Something my therapist told me. He was like, even if you got to just go outside and hug a tree, right, hug a tree. But I mean,
yeah,
you hug a tree and you feel the energy of that tree. Or even, what we call grounding. You take off your shoes and walk in the grass or walk in the
yeah.
sand or something like that, just to kind of allow the energy of the earth to help you process and heal.
I
It's
didn't know
real.
that's what grounding was for. I didn't
Yeah,
understand that until you just said it. Because I was
yeah,
like, what's the purpose of, you
yeah,
know, getting your feet on the grass and walking? What
right.
is the purpose? So now you just
Yeah,
explained it.
yeah, because, we are a smaller version of the earth in flesh and blood. Um, and when you take off your shoes and you literally put your feet on uh the earth or the grass or sand or whatever, it's like how can it's like a filtration system. It's like the earth pulls out the negative, and
Yeah.
then fills you back up with something positive.
Mm.
So, and that's the beauty of it's called grounding or earthing, depends upon who you're talking to. But just getting out there barefoot in nature, like I'll sometimes, when it's not crazy outside, I'll lay in the grass, just like lay out on my back, and
Yeah.
just like that feeling of taking those deep breaths and tuning into the earth, and knowing that not only are you tuning into the earth and you're tuning into yourself, but you're also tuning into God at the
Yeah.
same time. So
Mm.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. And go hug a tree. Go hug a tree. Hey,
How you doing?
right? How you doing?
So are we at? Hey, Mark.
Hey, y'all just cracking up and having too good a time. So I just see it good time y'all having talking about all these things and everything. So I just popped in for a second. I'm gonna pop on out of here. But yeah, y'all having too much fun. That's all.
Hey, don't leave yet. I want to stream this to my audience. So, Gene, if you go on, so if I go out, will you bring me back in?
I will.
Okay, I'm getting ready to do it real quick. Gene, go ahead with the next part. Or go ahead.
I
Thanks,
got you.
Mark.
Yeah, all right.
What is it?
All right. So next is eat well and make healthy diet choices. So actually, this is going to repeat what I said earlier. Eat a healthy, balanced diet. Incorporate foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, just like I said, complex carbohydrates and vitamin D to support brain health and energy. So again, I'm gonna relist those foods. Fish is great, especially salmon. The darker the better. Omega threes and omega sixes help with. Um, I'm gonna liken the neural synapses in the brain to like a wire. If you were to take a wire and just plug it into the wall, you'll kill yourself. You'll kill yourself. But the coating over the wire is what takes the energy from the source of whatever you're trying to power into
Yep.
the wall, the power source. And uh, and so the healthy fats that we get from eating avocado, salmon, beans, things like that, actually help encapsulate those neural synapses so that they energy runs into just a certain thing as opposed to all over the place. You know,
Yeah,
so get those healthy fats in.
that's good.
Um, and like I said, if you're gonna get vitamin D, if you can't get out in the sun, also use the light therapy, but also talk to your doctor first. But you can incorporate vitamin D supplementation to help as well. And complex carbohydrates, you want to like stick with things like sweet potatoes, quinoa, millet, barley, things of that nature, and especially like quinoa and like black rice is good as well. Both of those are superfoods. So not only do they have, not only are they complex carbohydrates, but they're superfoods. They have protein, certain minerals and vitamins and nutrients that you can't get from other sources of food. And this is, just something that you're using as a carb, adding to your food. So you get all of that, and you add other things that help, those healthy fats, like I said, salmon or avocado or whatever. Then that just is you got a high quality meal right there. Something that you could, fix in different ways and still get, the best for your body.
So Mark asked you a couple questions. He said he was talking to a friend of his. What do you think about getting gluten-free food? He said the friend told him that gluten-free bread is nowhere near as good as real bread.
No, it's not. It's not as good, but a lot of people have, um, and my son, Adrian had this as well, celiac disease, where the body rejects um, it rejects gluten, which is a protein that binds together the bread. Um, and what it does for people with celiac disease is it gets stuck in the body and then it leaks into the bloodstream, which
Oh,
causes other
wow.
problems. Right. Yeah. So it causes other problems which affect the mind. So again, we have to think about the fact that what we eat is very important. A lot, and really, the way that the FDA and whatnot has has put gluten everything in everything. You can look at your toothpaste and see gluten in your toothpaste. And like I said, it causes uh, digestive tract issues, which affect the mind. So everything works together. There's nothing that's not connected in the body. Everything has its purpose. Whatever you eat, you become.
Mark is talking about Stella. She got her head back there just looking.
Oh yeah, she over my shoulder.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he said she trying to make a sneak appearance. So he asked
Mm-hmm.
another question. Um, He said, what do you think of
Down.
being close to your weight? And he said, we all, me included, have that infamous stomach weight.
So what do I think about being close to your own weight? I mean, everybody. So one thing I want to say, I have a whole issue with the fitness industry and how we determine what's healthy and what's not. Because, for instance, as Black people, we are by and large, we are denser, our bones are denser, our bodies are denser, so we're naturally going to be heavier than most people. So, you know, a goal weight to me is a weight where you have as little fat as you can because everybody's body is different. Um, your we should do more testing about our heart. You know, if you have a good blood pressure, that's a good sign of good health, as
Okay.
opposed to being super lean. Now we don't. No one wants to be. The more fat you have in your body, the more likely you are to have diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, all of those things. So
Hmm.
minimizing the fat on your body as much as you can naturally without going too far, because this culture tells you you need to be skinny to be healthy, and that's absolute BS. There are so many people that I used to train that were sticks, and their cardiovascular was terrible. And I've
Yeah.
had people who are morbidly obese according to the BMI system, whose cardiovascular health was up there. Like it was great. It was amazing. They had way better cardio than the people who were sticks. So
Yeah.
we have a tendency in this culture to generalize and have a blanket for everything. For instance, for me, I'm 5'11", and according to the BMI system, I'm supposed to weigh between 190 and 195.
Yeah.
I currently weigh 220 pounds, and I will be considered obese
Yeah.
easily by that system. But my body fat ratio is like 10%.
Yeah.
So, you know, but just going back to the question, just stay active, check your numbers, your heart rate, your cardiovascular health, your A1C, your shoot, you know what I'm trying to say.
Blood pressure.
Now
Oh,
the
blood
plaque in your
sugar.
arteries.
Oh,
Well, the blood sugar as well, but the plaque in your arteries. What is that called? Shoot,
art, arteriosclerosis. I
I
I
can't
don't
think of it
know.
right now.
Sorry.
I can't think of it right now. So good. But yeah, just make sure that cholesterol. That's what I was looking for.
Okay,
Cholesterol.
arteriosclerosis is when your blood is messed up.
Right.
So go ahead.
But
Sorry.
yeah, so make sure that those numbers are good. We shouldn't overly be concerned about the way that the number that you see on the scale. As long as
Yeah.
you are constantly moving, doing what is necessary to keep your heart good, keep your bloodstream as clean as possible, and also making sure that your arteries are not packed full of, plaque from extra saturated fatty foods. So as long as you got that quality food, as long as you're moving, and those numbers are good, you're in a good place. Don't worry about that scale so much.
Did
But
that answer?
the more muscle mass you have, the faster your body burns fat. 1 pound of fat burns two calories at rest. 1 pound of muscle burns 18 calories per day at rest, and it takes 3,500 calories to burn 1 pound of fat. So the more muscle mass you have, the faster your body burns fat, and the better results you have all the way around.
Okay. Did that help, Mark?
I know one around the world and back again.
But you get. He said yes. Um,
Awesome.
but you gave a lot of helpful information. No. Um, I don't remember where we are. So
I
what?
got you.
Okay, and then I'll
Yeah.
catch up when.
Okay. So the next is manage stress. Try relaxation techniques like yoga, tai chi, or meditation. And, and I would also add to that. I would add to that breath work. Pranayama, working on consciously taking deep breaths, filling your lungs all the way up, and exhale, emptying your lungs completely. Like just doing those things in the moment helps with your stress levels. Because it's so think about the first thing you do when you get stressed out. You tend
Mark
to
said something. I'll tell you what he said in a minute. Go ahead.
okay. The tendency is to when you're stressed out to take shorter breaths. And so taking those conscious deep breaths, filling your lungs all the way up and emptying all the way multiple times, um, it's a great relaxation technique.
Yeah. So what Mark said is avoid stressful people if you can, though sometimes they follow you.
Man, what you
Yeah,
said.
people can
Put them
stress you
blockers
the heck
on.
out. Right.
Man, got to stiff on them. Stiff on them. I should hit mm-mm,
Get back,
uh-uh.
back up.
Yeah, back up. Back up. Left. Left. Bow.
I still don't know where you are, so I
Yeah,
was
I got
trying
you.
to find it while you was reading.
Hold on right quick.
Okay. She just singing away. Can you hear her, Mark? Come on, Gene, so I can find out where we are. I
This
was
nigga
like,
on the back and
dang,
put on a
Gene.
whole concert.
Yeah, I hear her. I heard her.
Goodness.
I was wondering why you kept talking. I was like, well, maybe he can't hear, but I can.
I was trying to talk him down. It's like maybe she don't remember. Anyway. Anyways, so socialize is where we are.
So
Connect with
what is
friends.
it under? Because I'm so lost. I know we did prevention.
Right. So we want to here are some things you can do to help with seasonal affective disorder. First thing is get sunlight, light therapy.
Okay, I'm with you now. Okay, go
Yeah.
ahead.
All right. So next is socialize. Connect with friends and family. Reach out to friends or join a support group. Isolation can intensify feelings of sadness.
And
That's why I said check up on your strong friend. Go
it's
ahead.
so easy to isolate,
Hmm.
especially if you're not used to being around people or you've gotten unused to that. It's
Right.
so easy to isolate. I found it so easy to do that, and I really hate that because I wasn't like this.
Yeah.
But situations and circumstances made me feel more safe. Excuse me, made me feel more safe isolating.
Right.
But now that I've done that and I realize that's where I am, it's kind of hard to get out of it because that's my
Right.
safe place.
Right.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to add that. And so yeah, I just wanted to say that Gina and I just talked last week, I think, and we were talking about uh maybe we become what if
Reclusive.
yeah, but that's not it. Um extrovert,
Oh, right.
introverts.
Introverts. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I said maybe we both become introverts. We weren't
Right.
like that, but because of people constantly hurting you and doing things to you, Mark said hermits.
Yeah. Yep. That
uh,
too. Yep.
yeah, so because of being hurt so much and by so many people, even still now, it's like, man, let me just get to my safe space.
Right.
So our safe spaces are our homes, you
Right.
know. And being away from people. And so, and I said this to you a few months back about I realized, with me doing that, that I've isolated myself.
Right.
And so I've changed it some, but it's still my safe place.
Right.
Nobody's bothering me, nobody's upsetting me, nobody's attacking me, in my safe space.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, but we were talking about maybe we both become introverts. We weren't like that, but maybe situations and circumstances,
Right.
made us become like that.
Right. And I would say this. I would, with everything in moderation. You can't isolate yourself completely because we got to live a life connected to people.
Yeah.
Um, however, don't put yourself in a position where you are uh, feel unsafe. I mean, you're gonna have times where you feel unsafe just because you're around other people, but we all need social interaction.
Yeah.
It's imperative that you get out and be around people. What I've done lately, and it's still a work in progress. Um, I will maybe we'll plan one thing to do. Well, I know we have the people. Um, and I have to talk myself into it.
Yeah.
I have to talk myself into it, man. It's like I'll be trying to figure out a million different excuses to not go. Well, I don't feel like it. I don't feel, and it's like, but you need it, and you've been in the house all week, other than work. So it's imperative that you balance it out, honor yourself, and honor the need to be by yourself to heal, but don't go so far that you become a recluse, like
Yeah.
like we were becoming.
Yeah.
I don't want to go nowhere around nobody. I don't like people no more. I don't want to see another person. Don't you call me. Don't text me. Don't send me a DM message. I'ma block you.
I'll be walking into where I'll be praying while I'm driving. Praying while I'm driving to work. Then I get to work, and while I'm walking down the hall to the area, because we have a meeting every morning at 6:00.
Hmm.
So while I'm walking down the halls to the meeting area, I'm praying and I'm
Yeah.
constantly saying, Lord, help me with these people today. Lord, help me with these people today.
Yes. Yeah.
So at least I'm glad, that I do pray, because man, it would be so much more rough if I didn't. Mark
Yeah.
said it's the new show with the dog as a special guest and a singer
You're
in the
right.
background.
Right. Exactly. You just right. We got a whole new show here.
He said
What's
background
going on?
vocals in the back.
Right. There we go. Exactly. A whole concert going on back there.
And
And
then
then
he
these
said,
Negroes looking for food. Ooh, what's she doing? What's she
I
doing?
see her. I see Stella jumping up getting something. Is it ice?
I don't know what she threw at him. I'm just like, I'm trying to stay focused, man. Will you go somewhere? Will you leave them and me alone, please?
So Mark also said sometimes going to a public space helps you break that isolation. Hard to
Yeah.
isolate at a museum, art gallery, or sports event or a public park. He said
Yeah.
Stella wants a spinoff.
Yes, right, exactly. Right. Stella the Savage. I can hear it now.
So
Never
Mark,
mind.
we're gonna do a little bit better now that we realize we've isolated and
Yeah.
people being around people is rough and tough. We're trying,
Right.
but
Man.
getting in that space, man, I didn't even realize I got here until I was all the way in,
Right.
and I'd be like, oh no, I'm okay.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, somebody invited us over. Who? Who's gonna be there? That's the first question. Who's gonna be there? Is it just them? Because I do not. Oh my goodness, Mom. We went to a gathering maybe about 2 weeks now, and we got there, and the person that we were looking for was not there, and then there were other people that were there. I mean, the person came later,
Yeah,
but like the first hour we were there with people we did not know, and I'm telling Denise, listen, she's like, we gonna go in. You better call and tell her we ain't coming. But we outside the house right now. Do it look like I care? Let's go home. I called our friend. He didn't answer the phone. I'm like, listen, man, I'm not about to go in here. I don't know these people.
yeah,
Just come on. I did it. I'm proud of
yeah,
myself, and I had fun.
yeah. Well, that's
Well,
good.
people in man, I just mm,
So Mark says, so did that scene from Uptown Saturday Night where you
yeah, pretty
crashed the
much.
family reunion?
Right, pretty much, man.
So we just did socialize, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so sleep enough, get enough sleep to feel rested, but don't oversleep. Set goals, set realistic goals, and break large tasks into smaller ones. Stick to a schedule. Maintain a consistent routine for sleeping, eating, and activities to regulate your body's internal clock. Take a trip. When I read this,
Hmm.
I was like, it's time to go to Memphis.
Man, listen.
Take a trip. If possible, consider taking a vacation to a warmer location in the winter and a cooler location in the summer.
Hmm.
So, Mark said, what is enough sleep? And he said,
Yeah,
doesn't that vary from people to people? It just depends.
yeah, it really does. 6 to 8
So,
hours is what they say. Some people need a little bit less. Some people need a little bit more. As of late, I need my 8 bars. If I
yeah,
don't get 8, I'm gonna be like this the whole day. And then I started to get grumpy. It's like, won't you? I'll be telling my own stuff. Won't you take your butt to bed? You getting on my nerves. Talking to
yeah,
myself.
you be going to bed when I be getting up.
Yeah, I'm still a night
You
owl. Don't
like,
get it twisted. Yeah,
yeah, I see that. So we got about 9 minutes. So when
yeah.
to see a doctor? It's normal to have some days when you feel down, but if you feel down for days at a time and you can't get motivated to do activities you normally enjoy, see your healthcare provider. Um, Severe seasonal affective disorder can be helped by antidepressants such as selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs. Also, get help if you feel despair about the future or are suicidal. Or if you have major sleep or eating changes, such as weight gain of 15 to 20 pounds. If self help strategies aren't effective, seek guidance as well. Don't use light therapy without consulting your physician and your eye doctor. Some medications may make your eyes sensitive to light. So,
Mhm.
tips for handling seasonal affective disorder. You do one and then I'll do one.
All right. First is seek professional help. Consider therapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy or CBT, which is effective for managing SAD. Medication may also be an option if symptoms are severe.
Add a splash of color. Brighten your home with colorful decor, fresh flowers, or artwork to counter the dreariness of winter.
Practice mindfulness. Engage in meditation, deep breathing, or yoga to reduce stress and increase emotional balance.
Plan pleasurable activities. Schedule fun activities or hobbies to look forward to, helping you stay motivated and positive. And now we want to give you some encouragement to deal with SAD. Go ahead, Jean.
First and foremost, you are not alone. Many people experience this struggle, and seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness.
Small steps lead to big changes. Even small actions like stepping outside or talking to a friend can shift your mood and energy.
You are stronger than you look. You faced challenges
Stronger than you
before and
think.
overcome than you think. My bad. Uh, yeah, you faced challenges before and overcome them. This is just another hurdle that you can manage with the right tools.
Seasons change, and so will you. Just as winter gives way to spring, your feelings of sadness will pass. Better days are ahead.
Celebrate small wins. Every positive action you take, like eating a healthy meal or exercising, is a victory worth celebrating.
It's okay to rest. Be gentle with yourself. It's okay to slow down and prioritize self care during this season.
Hope is always in reach. Remember that you have the power to take control, find light in the darkness, and reclaim your joy. Keep going. You are worth it.
So remember the things that we just shared with you. These things will be very helpful. These tips will be very helpful, again, for seasonal affective disorder or SAD. Um, so, Mark said, love that thought about reclaiming your joy. Yeah, these are some very good tips. Journaling is something that we hear a lot to do, but these are some really good tips. I mean, because a lot of times, like, celebrate your small wins. We don't do that,
Mhm.
you know.
Right.
And when we do that, just like somebody, you share something with somebody and then they're like, yay, that's good, awesome, I'm proud of you. you know
Mhm.
we should be doing that for ourselves, and
Right.
sometimes it's hard to do that, but if we get in the habit of doing that, then it'll help us, see and realize, hey, I have made you know some headway, I have accomplished something, instead of just looking at the big things.
Right.
um, and you want to comment about any of these?
Yeah, yeah. I was going to say, actually, to add on to that, celebrating the small victories, and the more that you do that, the more you create a gravitational pull of things to be grateful for. So
Yeah.
you know how they say attitude of gratitude. When you
Yep.
when you give something, you get more of that. So
Yeah.
where your attention goes, energy flows. The more you think about one thing or the other, you create that reality in your life or that gravitational pull. So celebrate those small victories, even if it's just, hey, I drank water today. I ain't drank water in 2 weeks. Hey,
Yeah.
that's a victory. You should
Yeah.
celebrate that. And then
Yeah.
you remember, hey, I felt good about celebrating myself for drinking that water. And conversely, I felt good drinking the water. So you know
Mm-hmm.
what? I'm gonna drink some more.
Yep. Yep.
And that creates a snowball effect.
That's really good. um, and then small steps lead to big changes.
Yep.
He
Yep.
just said that. What the example that Gene just shared is exactly what exactly what that was.
Yep.
So, and it's important to remember too that we're not alone when we're going through trials and tribulations, because a lot of times we feel like we're alone, and then so that makes whatever the situation is harder to deal with, because we feel like we're alone. Nobody understands this, or nobody will understand if I say something about it. And so we deal with things, on our own and our way. And then sometimes we end up, digging ourselves out of a pit because we've gotten so low. Um,
Right.
Add whatever you want to add, Gene.
Yeah. And I also wanted to go back and touch on it's okay to rest. In this society, we have been told over and over again, early bird catches the worm, and it's about who works the hardest. You know, and that's true in small doses.
Yeah,
If you burn yourself out, then you're no good to anyone. So it's okay to sometimes take a step back and do nothing for a minute, or maybe break things down into smaller portions. Give yourself time to do something and regroup, and then
yeah,
come back to something. Come back to the next thing with a fresh mind.
yeah,
The society tells us to keep going, keep going, keep going, and it's like, we end up like, rats on a wheel. We're just
yep,
running in place, not really
yep,
getting anything accomplished. So, it's not about activity; it's about effectiveness.
yeah,
Anyone can do things over and over again and get no results. But if you are being judicious in your action, then you increase the effectiveness of the action that you take.
yeah, yeah. Well, we hope this information has been very helpful. We appreciate you joining the show. We appreciate you tuning in. Comment, ask us questions, let us know what your thoughts are about what we've shared. We appreciate being able to share this information. Don't bully yourself. There is a thing called self bullying.
Yes, Lord.
And so um, it's getting close to Christmas, y'all. So anyway, we'll see you next week, same place, same time. We send you away with peace, send you love. Take care, and bye for now. See you next week.